I'm Katie.
And I'm Kay.
And you're listening to the Babes of Quinte podcast.
This episode is sponsored by Mary, owner and tattoo artist at Hillside House Studios.
Mary started tattooing in her beautiful in-home studio and is now opening a new studio.
She truly does it all. Mary's known for her crisp, clean, tiny line work, especially for ornamental designs and microrealism. She's also kick-ass at florals, script conceptual pieces, and just straight up art.
Hillside House offers a safe place with flexibility and transparency. For more information or to book an appointment, go to maryhobantattoos.com or check out the studio Instagram at Hillside House Studio. Got it.
Okay, we're good.
Hello. How are you?
I cannot believe this is what's happening right now.
I just don't have time for this right now.
Do not have time.
So,
for COVID.
If you don't know, everyone, I have COVID again. Yay for the second time. So, truly thought I had a sinus infection. And it was a hard positive. It was not a subtle line. It was like, bitch, you have COVID. And I was like, cool.
Great.
So,
love that for you.
Love it. Live, love, laugh, cry. And you know what? I think it just wraps up this episode like so well because this has not been the easiest episode to get out. So for
or
those
to record.
No, it's been a journey. We interviewed some of the cast of Stoney Lonesome. It was a dream. We had a great time. And the application we used, is that what it's called? The program?
Yeah, it was like the software that we used.
Did not upload all the audio because we had to do it virtually.
Yeah, and we were missing audio, missing video, and
it was horrible.
Yeah, no, it was just not a good time.
We did it again.
Which I think this one was better.
This one was better. I feel bad because my audio wasn't great, but you know what? Just live with it, friends. Deal with it. I panic.
We'll have them again, maybe for a third time.
I would love that.
I just want to be all of their friends.
I want them back for sure. I want everyone. I want to know like when they're all in Belleville, like maybe when they're shooting or something, and then have them all in the studio.
We should take them for dinner. Dinner party.
I just saw that
at the local.
Oh, I love that idea. I'm excited for the local to open. I can hear my dog in the hallway. Me too.
Tim,
what else?
McKinney, tell us when it opens. Invite us to the grand opening. You totally just like cut out. That was like really messy.
I liked it. This whole thing is messy. Life is messy. I feel like we're both struggle puddles right now.
Yeah, I feel like all of the feelings and emotions that I've been bottling up inside for the last week really just hit me in the Starbucks drive-thru
this morning.
And
good.
Literally pulled up and I'm sobbing in the Starbucks drive-thru, and I'm like, I can't even look at you guys right now. So yeah, that was no, it's fine. It's just, that's life, right? But yeah,
I guess,
and then I have like this wonderful message from Tara from Family Dental Center on my voicemail that I haven't listened to, but I've read the transcript, and she's just the sweetest, and I need to rebook this appointment.
Yeah, that would probably be good. No, I think it's important. What was I going to say? I don't remember. My COVID brain is real. Yeah, so we have bingo on Monday, Valentine's Day. Let's see what happens. Bingo.
Let's see what happens.
Thursday,
you can
still get tickets.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you can get tickets. If pricing is an issue, send us a message, and we'll work with you.
Yeah, we'll make it work. And then next Thursday, the 16th, we have teamed up with the Small Business Center. They're having us to do a how to start and market a podcast.
Yay. And we're podcast experts according to their event page. And
I think
we're gonna, you know what? It's like, I know that like our whole thing was like unqualified. We don't really know what we're doing, but I really think that like we're kind of getting a good grip on it.
I think we have a really good grip on it, and we are qualified. It's just funny to say underqualified. Like, we are qualified babes at what we do, I think.
Yes. But it's kind of a funny, like, cause like, I'm not like, I'm not going to speak for you, but like, I'm not like your typical, like, put together business person.
Same. Never been that.
But can I put together a business or a side hustle-y thing and like grow it and make it successful?
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm not.
Can we brand the shit out of things?
Yes.
So.
But do I put off that crazy, like, not crazy, because I totally respect people who are like put together and like can do that, but like that's just not who I am.
No, I think I'm just very chaotic, and I'm less chaotic than I used to be, shockingly. But
same. Yeah, by far.
It's just how my brain works. So I make it work, and I hope people like me. If you don't, I'm so sorry. But
well, I mean, if they don't like you, they're not listening.
I love that. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, we're not.
Imagine they were listening and they were just like, I hate you. It's like, okay.
You know what? We still get the stream. It's all good.
We'll take the download. Thank you. So yeah, that's a lot of what's coming up. But for now, enjoy our episode. I'm editing it as we are talking. Like, I'm in the process of editing it.
Oh, nice.
So it's really fun. I hope everyone enjoys, and we'll catch you on at the end of this.
Today we have our first returning guest who convinced some of his friends to join us on the podcast. You may have heard the name, been told about it from a friend, or stumbled upon it on FIBE TV. Stoney Lonesome is produced by 8020 Studio and is a sketch comedy series about life on the wrong side of the tracks, but the right side of life. Full of familiar Belleville faces, the show brings the humor we need while highlighting some of our area's landmarks. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, please welcome Kelly McKinney, Victor Cooper, Alisha Pelletier, and Matt DeMille.
After last time, I'm stressed.
Let me just change my name here because I'm using my wife's name because it's her Zoom account.
Okay, everyone. Yours is right. I think everyone's is good.
I got mine now.
There we go. Round 2, because you all rock and are
round 2.
Dun, dun.
The fact that we've managed to round up you guys for a second time is
because we are highly sought after. So it's surprising you were able to.
Wicked busy.
I had to clear my whole schedule today.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm surprised our agents even took your call.
Well, thank you. And we're gonna, hopefully this recording works, fingers crossed. So can we go around and do the introductions again, like good old grade 4 classroom? Start with Victor.
Hey. My name is Victor. I'm the director of Stoney Lonesome. I own 8020 Studio with Kelly McKinney, who is below me in my screen layout. And yeah, I heard blow me too.
Yeah.
And so I co-write and direct Stoney Lonesome.
Alicia?
Hello, I'm Alisha Pelletier. I'm one of the co-writers for Stoney Lonesome, one of the producers, and I act in it. I play multiple characters that you see.
Kelly.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kelly McKinney, co-creator, co-writer, and actor of several different roles in Stoney Lonesome, and happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having us here today. I'm super excited to do the podcast. Matt DeMille, chef, father, amateur athlete, and I play Bush, act in Stoney Lonesome, and I play Bush number 2 as well.
Amazing.
That was a joke from the first recording.
The first.
Yeah, it didn't hit
It
quite the same.
It landed great, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Look at it. Everyone's laughing.
We all got it.
You got it. No one else is going to get it. And I love an inside joke. So
yeah.
Also, now you need a character named Bush. I think that would be awesome.
His last name is number 2. Bush number 2.
Bush spelled like the beer, like
right with the
BUSCH.
Yeah. Last name Hightower, Bush Hightower. That's your porn name, Bush Hightower.
That's terrible. Bush got cut from season 3, unfortunately.
He's the Stoney Lonesome convoy guy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm Bush.
My God, the anti-vaxxer.
Yeah. He refuses to wear a mask in the 1-1. He's like, I ain't wearing a mask. I'm here at least once a month.
No.
Oh, goodness. This is exactly what I thought it would be again. Hopefully we don't talk about it. No, I like it. I guess I just have to bring this up before we keep going. Matt, it was your daughter's birthday and you took her to like Disney something.
Yeah.
And her poses in every photo, she was giving us model poses. And I was like,
know.
Of course, this is his daughter.
I don't even know where she gets it from. And like when
I do.
I do.
We all know.
We all know.
Daddy's TikTok. And just she was like when the lights go down, so you go into this big room and there's like all these cartoons showing and the lights go down and she was just like doing these interpretive dances. And I'm like, it's crazy. Kids are crazy. Kids are amazing.
I love them.
Yeah.
Well, she's definitely yours, I think. So that's
she's
good.
just adorable. Like you really do have very cute children.
Yeah, they're okay. They're good.
We filmed a documentary with Matt and we were filming some stuff of just him and his family decorating the tree. And I was framed up. I was in the kitchen and I was just like looking through the doorway into the living room. And his daughter comes sliding in with like 4 different costumes on, doing like a full on like crazy dance. And then she comes around the corner with like a glass of her mom's wine. And she's like, look, I'm mommy.
Please tell me that made the documentary.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Sorry for that tangent.
I want to like get into like real deal, serious business stuff. I want to ask, I guess we're going to start with Kelly. Like, how was Stoney Lonesome like born? Tell us the story.
Okay. It was an idea that Victor and I discussed. So for people that are not from Belleville listening to the podcast, there's actually a geographical area in the city of Belleville called Stoney Lonesome. So it's in a shortest version, it's the other side of the tracks, but physically it's below the 401, east of the river, above the railroad tracks. And it's the last area in Belleville to get electricity. We're going to start talking about poop soon. I can feel it.
Let's go.
When you say I can feel it.
And the last to get, there is no sewers in Stoney Lonesome. So this is like the 1920s or 30s. You would actually go to the bathroom in a chamber pot and you take it out in the morning. It was called night soil. That's what they called it. And someone would come by and pick it up. Now, I don't know. I've done a ton of research, as much as I can do, and I can't find. I don't know if this was daily or weekly or who did it or, any of that stuff. But it's the other side of town. So the people from Stoney Lonesome, they're more colorful, they're more interesting, and they go into the fancy side of town for dinner or whatever. And people on the fancy side of town go into Stoney Lonesome to get their, a haircut or their car worked on or whatever. So it's about the interplay between these characters. Ta-da! That's it.
Ta-da.
That's great. And so Kelly, did you more have the idea and then did you pitch it to Victor and then the workings began?
Yeah. So the way every conversation goes with Victor and I, like we met and hit it off and we have, breakfast or whatever, sit around, chat. We'll have some sort of purpose of the meeting. Like, we should get together and talk about X. We never get to X. We just talk back and forth, interrupt each other with different ideas. And it's just like, I would love to film it sometime because it's totally nonsensical. No one gets to finish the sentence. So I think I said, hey, I got this idea. And then he talked over me with something different. And then I finally got it out and we, talked over each other. And then at the end, we're like, I think that sounds like a show. So
we were probably supposed to be doing our taxes or something.
Yeah.
Something smart. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a dumb idea generator. And after that discussion, Victor's actually does stuff. And then once we got Alisha got better and Matt got better. So, there was a kernel of an idea that we sort of developed back and forth over lots of conversations. And the
problem is Kelly has come up with this great idea. And now he hits me with about 2,000 ideas a week. And the problem is a lot of them are good. We just can't do them all. But I'm not going to stop him from coming up with great ideas because he is really good at that. He calls himself a dumb idea generator. I think he's an idea generator. And it's about 60-40, which is pretty good.
That's a good ratio. Yeah, I think.
A good ratio.
How did
That pretty much sounds like us.
Yeah.
That's how this podcast started. It was just, hey,
dumb idea.
We're just going to do it.
Dumb ideas.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
How, Victor and Kelly, do you know each other and did 80/20 get started, which now produces Stoney Lonesome?
Kelly and I went to different schools together.
Different schools together.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's an old man joke. No, so I used to work for a different company, a video company, and Kelly came to us as McDougall Insurance and said, "Hey, we need some videos done." And so I kind of took the lead on that because it was more my style. And Kelly and I, he had this crazy idea for like a choose your own adventure comedy series to help promote insurance, which I thought was very cool. And,
It's pretty great.
yeah. And we produced that and hit it off right away. And then at some point, I was, kind of thinking about doing my own thing. And Kelly said, well, if you ever do decide to go out on your own, just call me and, maybe I could join you. And I don't know what it was, maybe 2-3 days later, I called Kelly. I said, okay, I'm going out on my own. Get ready. And I don't think he was quite ready for that quicker response. I think he was thinking like a year or two down the road, maybe.
I said I was drunk when I said that I was just kidding.
Yeah.
And I just felt bad for you. So
it was the cocaine talking, he gets yappy.
About 3 months later, we were at the Banff World Media Festival. So things happen quickly.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing my Banff shirt now.
I thought you were going to take your shirt off. I was like, what's going on?
There is a little stain here.
It's
it
not
looks
that
like a
kind of
mustard
podcast.
stain. It's not a mustard stain though. It's actually like katsumuro. It's my nipple showing through. That's what it is. No, it's like a glue that you use to put pottery back together. We were doing this
I know
craft.
what that is.
I spilled some glue. Yeah, I can't remember how you say it. It's like a Japanese word.
Yeah, it's like if something breaks and then you put it back together, it's still like beautiful. It's like art. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
You know what's going on. It's like katsumuro or something.
Super glue,
no, it's not like super glue. Oh. Ugh. Some people just don't get it. Right?
Yeah, kabuki glue. I think
we'll work on it, Kay. It's not kabuki. Yeah.
I was gonna say bukkake.
Did you use bukkake?
No, I said kabuki, knowing it might lead to bukkake. So
good job, nice setup.
Subtle.
Nice
You played volleyball, didn't you?
I wanted someone to correct me on it. So.
Set it up. Good job. Pardon me. I have a cold. And so I find that having a little coffee or a little cookie. So I have a pile of cookies here, coffee. I'm quite comfortable.
Is it one of the maple cookies?
Yes, it is. Old school, baby.
Oh, those are amazing.
Yeah. Grew up on these suckers. That's how I got
Exactly.
Nostalgia.
I could eat a whole box of those.
I totally know what that tastes like.
Alisha, how did you get involved in Stoney Lonesome?
Well, I did a short film with Victor. I was just brought on as an actor. It was kind of this weird passion project. And Victor, you were
I was just brought on as camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we hit it off. And months later, he reached out to me with, actually, it was supposed to be a horror film. And I was like, okay, I was like, we did a comedy together, but all right. And then that didn't work out. And then he pitched this idea and they brought me on for 2 or 3 days of shooting for a pilot episode. We hit it off. And by the end of that weekend, they asked if I wanted to come on as a co-writer and producer. And I was like, abso-freaking-lutely.
Yep.
I had so much fun. Yeah.
And it's done.
And the rest was history.
And the rest was history.
Your characters are amazing. And I guess that leads to, how do you guys come up with the characters and what's the writing process for the show?
Yeah, I mean, some of the characters are kind of like just mashups of people we all know. I think everybody knows some greasy mechanic, and everybody knows some crazy lady next door with a baby on her hip and another one on the way and 4 more inside the house, and then some of them are extreme characters, like Scooter Man was 100% Kelly's baby. And it's just that could only come from his mind. I think it's just like you get enough people in a room that are all crazy like us, and you start, shooting out ideas, and characters start to come alive. And they're usually half built until an actor like Kelly or Alisha get in there and start to bring it to life. And then you're like, oh yeah, this is a real character. And every once in a while we're like, no, this isn't a character, and we shut it down.
I think people tend to overcomplicate it. Like, you think like, oh, this guy, and he's got this thing, but like, it just has to be, like Victor said, it could just be someone, and if you take a step back and like, if you go to Thanksgiving at your family's house and you just step back and watch what's happening, you're like, oh yeah, these people are crazy, and you just watch what they're doing, and you just, or Christmas time, and you watch a family member, and you're like, yeah, it's funny. It's hilarious. You're on
a podcast and somebody belches in the first like 15 seconds, and you're like, that could be a character. I don't know. I didn't want to point anybody out,
Oh, Kay did that.
What else could be a character is the Queen of Stoney Lonesome.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. So just for context, for everyone who's listening,
for everyone who didn't hear the first iteration of this podcast.
So back in the day, so like 10 years ago, there's like this app called Foursquare, and you would check into different places. God knows why. Sometimes you would get a discount at like restaurants or something. So I would always check into Stoney Lonesome when I got home, because I never wanted to like check into my house. So that's weird. Obviously, I'm the queen of my house. Like, please. So yeah, I'd always check into Stoney Lonesome. So like when this came up, I was like, oh my God, like I know what Stoney Lonesome is. Like I know where that is. I know this thing. And I'm like, and I'm the queen of Stoney Lonesome because I was the one that checked into this place the most.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, we need to bring you in for a sketch. We need a queen royalty of Stoney Lonesome.
I clean up better than this. It's fine.
I think you're perfect just the way you are. That's how you should show up for the sketch.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much
absolutely.
You're like a blonde Patty. Oh, you don't know Patty.
You are like a blonde Patty.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Patty's BFF. Maddie. Yeah. No, Maddie's already taken.
Who's Patty?
What are you talking
sister.
about, you dumbass?
I thought it was Pat. I thought it was Pat.
Pat. Yeah,
sorry.
Pat and Matt.
I'm watching
Patty.
TV. Did you guys? What's happening? Are we recording?
I just called you a dumbass right to your face. That's terrible. Oh well.
We really do love each other, I swear.
How long does it take to record a season? Because season 1 is on BellFibe. Yeah. How long did it take? What was the process of getting it there, and how long does filming that season take?
Ooh, that's a big old chunk of questions.
Yeah, enjoy.
Take it away, Victor.
Figure it out.
I'll start with the process of getting it there. I had met Paul Gardner, who is at BellFibe, and I'd done some pitches for him. And he was like, oh, we love this one, but we just bought something very similar, so we're not going to buy that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I pitched him something else, and he was like, oh, we love that, but you're just a month too late. We just spent our whole budget. Try again. And so it was a little bit of that. And then finally we pitched him Stoney Lonesome. And he said, like, if you haven't already pitched this anywhere else, we're going to get on a call tomorrow morning and, just have some numbers ready. And so he gave us a call that next day. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. Kelly, take it over from here, sir.
Okay. So we pitched the idea, and he said, okay, I like it. Let me think about it, get back to you. And he got back to us an hour later and said, okay, that budget that I said, I need a rough take on, I need the full thing, and I need it by, tomorrow morning. So I think with BellFibe there, I'm struggling with the right word, but they're there to help create talent. So they someone has an idea. They're not Netflix, not HBO. They're like
an incubator.
Incubator. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I got you.
And so they get some support from the government, and when they have money, they're ready to invest. So they like the idea, and so probably a little bit of timing was good for us, but they had money and they liked the idea, and they're like, okay, go. We need it now. And so, luckily we were ready. We had done in the process of pitching. They say, don't film anything. Don't give us a final product. Like, we just want a good idea, a good pitch deck, couple slides, we can get our head around it. We did what we weren't supposed to do and gave them, essentially a pilot and said, we filmed this, we think it's great, and there you go. And they were like, wow, we don't like when people do this necessarily, but you guys actually nailed it. So we know exactly what you're talking about. We get Stoney Lonesome. We love the characters. Go.
We had to write a show very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys killed it because it's hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
That's great.
No, that's it. I'm good. I'm just like fangirling. It's cool.
What was the timeline between them saying yes and then like how long did you have to write the first season?
Right. Good question. Does anyone remember what time of year any of this happened? I mean, we had a couple months to write it. It wasn't like, 48 hours or anything like that.
No, it was a couple months.
Yeah, we had a couple months to write it. We sent them all the scripts. They sent back their changes. We like this. We don't like this. This is too risque for us. And so we made our changes, sent them back. What's that, Kelly?
I said cringe because the BellFibe is a family channel. And so they have very strict rules on what they like, which doesn't line up with my sense of humor necessarily.
At all.
And so some of the stuff we put in wasn't appropriate, and they came back. But the comment on one of mine was just cringe, I think was all they said.
What was the idea?
I can't tell
I
you.
don't think we should.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we should.
It's okay.
But
it's fine.
We'll do it over,
the exact
over drinks
quote
sometime.
was, "It actually made us cringe," was what they said.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Amazing.
One day.
I probably would
Not all the ideas land.
No.
Now that we've had some work done, now it feels like a compliment. But at the time, it was soul crushing. I was like, "Oh my god, this was my great dream, and now it's been dashed." But I did want to answer an earlier question you asked about the writing process. So just because we sort of skipped over it, but the when we were writing season 2, we should have had Matt there in retrospect because he's insanely funny. But it was Alisha, Victor, and I, and then we hired a writer from This Hour Is 22 Minutes.
Wow.
Nigel Grinstead. Yeah.
Nigel Grinstead. And so the process, the actual process is we all had ideas, and we came together on the smallest table you can imagine that could fit 4 laptops. And sat about 8 inches from each other. And he said, okay, I've seen season 1. I like it. What do you guys got? And we would pitch an idea, and then we would sort of laugh, and we would take turns, say, okay, can I write that one? And so someone would write it. And then the other 3 would argue over what they wanted to write. And someone had a kernel of something, and some were, there's sort of a draft written. But essentially in the course of 2 days, we wrote sketches, in the middle of it, we'd have sort of a half hour each. We'd say, okay, let's write, and then we'll come back in half an hour, but we're not coming back. We're literally 8 inches apart writing, and say, okay, excuse me guys, what's a funny word for flaccid? And, just yelling back and forth, different ideas and stuff. And then we're like, okay, great. And then we'd write and then present them to each other, and you'd read them sort of in the voices you thought. And we killed ourselves laughing.
It was so much fun.
So much fun. 2 days of madness. And I wish we'd done more. Originally, we didn't know this Nigel guy, and Victor said, let's do 3 days. And I was like, no, that's too much, too risky. We don't know this guy.
What if he sucks?
Are we going to like each other? And 2 days was probably the greatest, I don't want to say artistic and be too, fluffy about it, but it was the funnest writing experience ever, for sure.
Yeah, Nigel's hilarious. It was really great bringing him on and having his perspective and touch on the project. It made a big difference.
And that was for season 2 that you brought him in, or was he there for season 1 too?
For season 2.
For season 2.
Yeah,
we took a lot more time writing for season 2.
Did our own thing. Yeah. And then
it's always good to kind of get that outside perspective too, right? So it's because this is your baby, your brainchild. It's everything I do with this is going to be perfect. But then you get the outside influence, and I always find that I helpful.
And it's crazy how many jokes are in a good episode of a comedy show. I just started watching Corner Gas again, and the very first episode the pilot episode, I was trying to keep track, and it was like a joke every 10 or 12 seconds. Like it's just nonstop. And, they aren't all bangers, but once you start piling them on, you're just like, holy shit. Like, how did they write
smart writing,
much comedy and so many good callbacks? So I think that's the one thing that we just want to keep adding more time to is the writing process. It's tough because there's a certain amount of money to spend, and it just costs a certain amount to put anything on screen, whether it's funny or not. So once you've got, an hour on screen, most of your budget's gone. So we want to keep pushing more toward writing, and that's what we hope to do.
It's pretty cool. These guys writing and directing. Like when you read the script, I haven't been involved in the writing process, but like when you get the script and you read the script, sometimes it like makes no sense because Victor and Kelly have a plan in mind. And then when you see it on film, you're just like, oh my gosh, okay. But it's like to foresee that is like blows my mind, like to be able to know that when it comes together, it's going to be funny, So,
yeah. And a lot of what we do too is like a script is kind of the base because once we start rolling, there's always new ideas that come up, and we'll do a version that's to the script, but then we have time to play. And Victor's great for that as a director because he always has ideas in the moment and is always down to like push you to the next level. And I find that's when a lot of the magic happens and the character development happens and the sketches actually come to life. So some of it's not in the writing room.
He'll go with it. Like if we're on set, literally in the middle of a shoot, and like one of us will say, wait, what if we tried this or said this? And Victor will roll with it. He'll be like, okay, try it. Or if he hates it, he'll tell us to shut up. But he'll be like, go for it. And you know what I mean? But to have that sort of fluidity and the fact that we're all friends is great, because if you're on like a huge set, who knows what it would be like, but to be comfortable, you get to really,
you don't always get the creative freedom, but on our sets we do.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier for me to do. This is going to sound mushy, but when you're surrounded by people who are really good at what they do and who are offering up great ideas and great alternatives, it's a lot easier to be like, yeah, let's try this. When, you might be on a different set where it's just like, there's 1,000 ideas flying at you and they all suck. And you're like, I have to shoot them all down. So to deflect a little of the credit, it's a lot easier for me to do that because these guys are really good at what they do. But to Matt's point, actually, Matt wrote a whole sketch in the middle of shooting, and we filmed it. And I'll just give it away because it's a small one. So if you're listening to the podcast, it's a little treat. He was like, there was a little splotch of splotch of buttered chicken on one of the tables, and he's like, okay, what if I tell Eric, I'm like, how much for you to scrape that up and eat it? And then Eric's like, $5. And you're like, deal. And then Eric scratches it up and eats it. And then Eric hands him $5 and he's like, easy money. and then Matt's like, pleasure doing business with you. And that's the whole sketch. It took us like, I don't know, 5 minutes to shoot.
3 days.
But it took us 3 days to shoot. Yeah. I had to block it.
Hey, Kay, how many tattoos do you have? Well, the exact number is unknown, but I know where I'm getting my next one. I'm booked on February 14th for some Valentine's Day Flash at Hillside House Studio with Mary Hoban.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day Flash?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. I thought you were getting stars, so that's fun.
I am getting stars.
Oh,
in April.
Oh, so do you have 2 booked in with her?
I have 2 appointments. You want another one too, right?
I do. And I think I'm going to book in with Miri for my dumpster fire tattoo idea. I think she'd really kill it. Miri is a babe of many talents. She went to school for nursing, but has ultimately set up a safe, flexible, and transparent tattoo studio. From floral to script, ornamental design, micro-realism pieces, you'll walk away with a beautiful tattoo.
To book a tattoo or to learn more about Miri and Hillside House Tattoo, follow at Hillside House Studios on Instagram or check out MaryHobanTattoos.com.
Matt, how did you get involved? Because as you said, you're a chef. So how did you get involved on Stoney Lonesome?
Oh my gosh. Well, Victor and I have sort of worked together in the past on and off with cooking videos, and like one of my side hustles I do
Fun
like
with
hot
feet.
maple. What's that? On my seat?
Fun Sid, one of your side hustles, fun with feet.
Fun with feet. Yeah. No, so what was I saying? Hot maple sauce, COVID side hustle. Victor graciously shot a wonderful commercial for that for me, which was awesome. And then he called me up one day. He was like, hey, we need an extra in this shoot for this new show that I'm working on. And it was in a garage in Picton. And literally I just had to sit there while Carol, this, beautiful woman from the big city, comes walking in. And that's when her and Daryl first lock eyes. And I literally just sat there and watched her come in and like picked my ear. And I don't know what it was, but I got the call back, and
it was the ear.
It was the ear peck.
He plunged in there. He was
See?
That's it. Yeah, because his eyes roll up a little bit, and it was just, what do you gonna turn that down? Yeah.
That was so that was it. So got the call back, got the in season 1 a little bit, he's in season 2 a lot of it. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun because I've pitched cooking shows in the past, and I've probably pitched like 8 to 10 cooking shows in the past, and nothing has ever been picked up. And a 13-second scene of me picking my ear in a garage, and it's like boom. Like, it's just funny how things work out.
Matt's hilarious. Naturally funny.
It was so fun because I binge watched the first season after we interviewed you the first time on the podcast. Right. And like, your shirt is off so much in that season. And I feel like you're just like, I'm going to take my shirt off. This is going to be great. And then at one point, Alisha gets me because like, you're his mom and you have to look at him like down his pants. And that got me every time. I was just like, I don't know how they filmed this because I would be cracking.
We were dying the whole time.
It was pretty bad.
It's amazing.
Any scene with Matt, it's so hard. There's like a 100% chance I will probably end up crying when I'm shooting with Matt. But that scene specifically was just, that was the way he was eating the bowl of Oreos. It was like mini Oreos. It wasn't even cereal. And then, looking down his little bum crack over and over and over again. That's the thing. It's like, you don't just do one take. His little bum crack over and over and over again. And it just got funnier every single time.
We actually got it on the first take, but I was just like, I'm going to make her do this 15, 20 more times.
Yeah. I got a Tasmanian devil tattoo just for that shoot.
You asked talking?
No. Monster energy drink. That was fun. And the best part of that shoot, for those who haven't seen season 1, but there was a little girl outside, so like I had to like shout and and there's this little girl, and I'm just like, I hope she doesn't like get scared or because
she did have a hard time.
She was a little uncomfortable, but it made it work.
Yeah. She did look a little scared, like looking back.
Yeah, there were no children harmed in the making of Stoney Lonesome season 1.
Maybe season 3 we will.
Maybe season.
Well, stay tuned.
I thought for sure that Belle was going to shut that one down because it kind of came out of nowhere. Most of that wasn't written. When she like pats his ass when he goes inside, and she's like, "Oh, that's all squishy." And then she's like, "Your nipples are rock hard."
Poop jokes. They don't like poop jokes.
And I get it, but I was like, "Oh, they're gonna shut this down." But I think they're just like, "Nah, it's pretty funny."
I love a poop joke.
So Matt just kind of showed up and picked his ear and got the part. So how was the rest of the cast? It's not a huge cast, but how did you pick everyone?
Yeah, I mean, so these 3 are their own kind of stories, and Kelly, that's his thing. He acts, and that's kind of his main role in the company is he comes on as an actor, and so that was a no-brainer. And we knew we needed a handsome ass lead, so that was problem solved. And there it is, right there. It's really good when he dries his teeth out and keeps that top lip all stuck up. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
And then the rest it was a real mixed bag. Like Alisha brought a lot of people from Toronto because we knew we needed quite a few people, and we wanted to spice it up a little bit and get some diversity in there as well, which can be hard to find. And so Alisha had some good leads on some people in Toronto. And then there was a lot of just people locally. We're really fortunate that so many people wanted to be involved. A lot of friends and family. And I think that was about it. We didn't really do any casting here. There were a couple things where Alisha was like, "Oh, this guy would be perfect for this," and I was like, "All right, I trust you."
I knew Andrew Meikle, and then I reached out to someone in casting because I really wanted another strong female comedian on board, and they recommended Alia Rasool, and she's pretty big in the comedy world, and so she was great to bring on.
Awesome.
She's great.
I lucked out.
Yeah, we got really lucky for season 2. I messed up and forgot to cast somebody for a particular role. And I was like, "Oh, Alia's going to be perfect for this. I wonder if she'll be available." And I messaged her. I was like, "It's super short notice. It's in like 2 days." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll actually be in Picton the day before. So yes, I can do it."
For a comedy show, she was
Toronto.
already going to be there.
So it worked out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Atesh too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Atesh as well. We brought him on he got a bigger role in the Christmas special, and then for season 2, it was a much bigger role. Also really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice when I get to work with friends.
Yeah.
Even though there are a few people I feel like on set or that act in the show that are even just friends who aren't even like the pool boy or pool guy. Like, is he even
Gary? Yeah.
Gary.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, hey, like I know a guy, and they come and they act and they're like, okay, see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's just like, we have this small town show, and it has people in it that are from a small town who just come and clean a pool in a thong, and they're like, that's awesome to them, you know.
I will say Gary is the biggest trooper. So Gary's got to be getting close to 80, I would say 76, 77, something like that. And when I asked him if he would be the pool boy in a thong, it was August, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." And by the time we got around to shooting it, it was like late October. And when we finally found a pool, it was down by the water. So it was like cold air blowing in off the water. And it was about 100-mile-an-hour wind. And I was like, we had this little pool house. I was like, "Okay, Gary, like you go over there in your parka. We're going to set up the shot. I'm going to get it all ready. And then you just run, get into your thong, get out there, do your thing." And he just he booked it. But it was the coldest day I think we could have possibly filmed that without losing Gary.
Yeah. Hashtag shrinkage.
Hashtag shrinkage. Yeah. And he still showed up. He still showed up.
He did.
Okay to play.
You guys have talked around it, but the difference, just to highlight the point, Alisha is a professional actress, what she does. And so all the people she brought from Toronto were professional actors and actresses that do this for a living, maybe some on the side. And a lot of the local people were amateurs like Matt and I, who just, didn't realize how much we like doing it, but suddenly get into it like, hey, this is fantastic. So just to highlight the difference, local versus we brought in people from Toronto that we needed professionals, and we brought them in from Toronto. Like Alisha was the number one. And then through her connections, more professionals that do this for a living. And then the local ones were sort of, as Matt says, just like, hey, Eric Hayes, he's a funny guy. Let's see, how he'd be on camera. And it doesn't work for everybody. So we actually had some that didn't work so well, that, didn't, no one saw. But
Eric's a good example of that, of someone who was not an actor.
Yeah.
And his character just developed more and more and more. And we're like, oh, your character's so ridiculous. Like, we're just going to write more.
I think it's because it's not much of a character. Like, it's basically
no, it's Eric.
It's just
Eric. Eric just turned up 1 degree,
Yeah.
Like Vince Vaughn.
Awesome.
Like Vince Vaughn, yeah.
Usually Vince Vaughn in the movie.
He's just who he is. Yeah.
That's, I think, one of the best things about watching it, being from Belleville, is you recognize people like, Kelly helps me with my insurance, but he's also on a show. Or like, I went to high school with Simi, so seeing her, it's just so cool seeing these local people that and then also seeing just parts of Belleville with a different sign over it. Or, I think there's a lot of shots of like downtown buildings, and I feel like people not from Belleville would be like, what a pretty architecture. And then I'm just like, I feel like under there, it is very sketchy.
Somebody smoked crack right there 20 minutes ago.
There's like one shot where there's like the top of the building and all these pigeons are sitting on it. I'm like, if 2 more pigeons sit there, that building's coming down.
Yeah.
I know for sure.
Who are your favorite characters you got to play? Because if people haven't seen Stoney Lonesome, most of you, maybe not Matt because he plays himself kind of, most of you who play multiple characters, especially Kelly and Alisha, you guys both play so many great characters. Who's your favorite you get to play? Alisha, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll start. Well, thanks to the first time we shot this, I had time to think about it because I actually wasn't sure up until you asked me. Megan. I think Megan is one of my favorite characters to play. She's just so Megan. Confident and full of life, and I get to really play when I'm in Megan.
She's so relatable, which kind of like hurts me. I'm like, why do I relate to her so much? Why don't I know how to do a contour?
I think one of the fun things with Megan is that, like, because of her energy, her lines don't have to be word perfect. So you can just kind of go, and you never have to worry like, oh, I didn't deliver that just, word for word. It doesn't matter. You just like get to let loose and do whatever you want. Whereas there are certain characters where it's like, it's really important that we get that line just right. With Megan, it's pretty much just an energy. It's like, if you get the energy right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so you just get to have a lot of fun with it.
Especially that makeup scene.
Yeah.
Because we only had one go at it. And that was our
once you get all that stuff all over your face.
Yeah. So it was like I had to nail it each time, and which meant I needed to not worry about the lines, and I needed to just commit to it, and whatever happened. I love that about her. I guess she just completely embody her and have fun.
She's great. I think, Kelly, who's your favorite character you play?
First, I just want to say that I love Megan so much. I've called Alisha Megan by mistake. Like, he was so convincing that I've said, "Hey, Megan." I'm like, "Oh no, that's not. You just play Megan." Alisha looks insulted, but she shouldn't be.
It's okay. I get it. She's better than me. It's fine.
My favorite character to play is Scooter Man, just because he's a very different person than I am, and lets me, be a little free and whatever, have some fun.
I think Scooter Man's the same deal, right? Like it's all an energy. That's all it is with him. Like if the lines are almost a side note, it's just like, as long as I get the energy and the crazy in there, and
the chocolate sauce
and some chocolate sauce and some cat hair, you're good to go.
Good.
Is that in the Christmas special? The chocolate? Okay, yeah, a lot. Who came up with Scooter Man? Kelly, did you create that character?
I think that was mine. Yeah. But as with all of them, it's an idea, and then there's a bunch of back and forth, and it develops from that. But it was, when you were talking about characters, where we got the characters earlier, I was going to say downtown Belleville is a great spot to find characters. And I was looking, like, if you're not from Belleville, there's a huge proliferation of mobile scooters in downtown Belleville, like more than you've ever seen. And it's not necessarily people who need them. They just, they park them at the bar and they jump out and run into the bar. So I'm not sure, what the deal is exactly, but I was fascinated by all these people. I thought, we need a character that has either has a mobile scooter or really, really wants one and can't get one. And so that's where the character came from. So
I think
talk about the pajama pants.
Oh yeah. Talk about your outfit. How'd you choose that?
Yeah, I never thought this was all that funny, but Scooter Man has sort of a mullet, long hair, and wears a hat a bit like Matt's, and yours, Kay, but a little different color. He has a t-shirt that says Scooter Man, just to reinforce who he is and who he wants to be. And then his pants are pajama pants, because that's what people wear in downtown, Eastern Ontario. But these pajama pants are actually pictures of like my family. So it was a gift from my wife one year. She got us all pajamas with pictures of everybody. So I never thought too much of it, but Alisha saw them and she was like, "Oh my God, those are they're so perfect for a downtown character." And I was like, "What? These were a gift." I was all offended, but
these are my
they are pretty
pants.
good from a distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever just wear your Scooter Man outfit, like when you're not on set, just to be one with him?
Just once, but attracted way too much attention from people downtown. that want to just hang out and smoke dupes. So I was like,
his wife wasn't as into it as he was hoping.
no, yeah.
He shut it down.
But I was.
Yeah. She loves the lumberjack outfit, but Scooter Man, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah.
What is it like? Because a lot of the filming, it seems, is done downtown or like on the south side of town. What is it like filming just out and about? And do people look at you really weirdly?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I would say it's fantastic. Like we don't run into any issues. It's very easy to get store owners or shop owners to say like, yeah, go ahead, film in front of my place. You can use our power, and every once in a while we have some, local flavor stop by and, hold up filming for a while they tell us some story about their great uncle who used to also live in this building or something like that. But for the most part, it's kind of a dream actually, because it's just really, really easy to move around here and everything's pretty close by. So our studio's right downtown. So we're not doing like huge company moves to get to location. We can just, run down the street. And if everybody takes an armload of gear, we're good.
Teamwork.
Making the teamwork.
Alisha, you're not from Belleville, like the Quinte area. What has your experience been like coming here and filming and being one with the Belleville people?
I love Belleville. Belleville feels like my second home now. I get excited every time I have to come back. It feels like my second home and second family is there. I also I know some people locals might not think the downtown is very pretty or elegant, but I personally, every time I come down, I'm like, this is such a beautiful area. Like most downtown or waterfronts, there's flaws. I still think that there's, what's the right word? I don't know. It's quaint. It's lovely. Yeah. There's charm. Yeah. Oh, I like it. I'm really happy that we shoot everything locally to Belleville.
Katie, can I ask a question of Alisha?
Yeah.
Alisha, tell us about your background and connection to Stoney Lonesome and how it feels so natural with your background in Sudbury and North Bay.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, close enough. Yeah, whatever.
Was that a question?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Sault Ste. Marie. I didn't grow up there, but I've moved back multiple times. I have so much family still there. I have grandparents, brother, nieces. And so a lot of the characters are actually based on some of my family members. My mom being from the Sioux, you can take the girl out of the Sioux, but you can't take the Sioux out of the girl. So my mom is a huge inspiration. I mentioned this last time and I'll mention it again. So my mother's name is Tammy. Now the Tammy character isn't solely based on my mother, but the Peeble sketch with the tent, she has my mother actually had a Peeble growing up. So we would do a lot of camping and she would not want to leave the tent at night. So she would squat over a bowl and then dump it out the next morning. And if that wasn't gross and embarrassing enough, I never wanted to bring my friends camping because she did that. She would use that same bowl the next morning to make pancakes. So it only felt right to create a sketch based on that experience with my mother.
I feel like it's strongly a Northern Ontario thing.
Was your mom peeing in a bowl too?
No, my mom didn't pee in bowls, but I've heard of that. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. Well, last time I said it, when I was younger, if I was sick, she'd give me a bowl to throw up in on the couch. And then later I know that was a popcorn bowl. It'll get clean, but then when she handed me popcorn, I'd use the same bowl. So it's a thing, I guess.
How clean are you getting a bowl while you're camping though?
That's
how
true.
Clean are you getting it?
But I feel like it's an identifier too. If I was out and about and I saw someone peeing in a bowl, I'd be like, "Oh, you're from Sault Ste. Marie," eh? You could tell.
My family from the Sioux is going to be so mad. They're going to be like, people keep yelling, people peer at me when I'm on the streets.
People Tammy.
That's going to be my new diss is your mother pees in bowls.
Or a compliment. Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
May your mother pee in 1,000 bowls.
Yes, she does love camping.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like a blessing, an Irish blessing. May the wind always be at your back, and may your mother pee in 1,000 bowls.
Pee in the bowls.
So good.
That's hilarious.
Or it could be like the twist. It could be an insult. It could be like, may your mother not have a bowl to pee in. You know, like
Right.
It got really
Can't even
weird.
afford it.
May the floor of your tent ever be soggy.
This is what I picture the writer's room being like. Is it kind
This
of
is
like
exactly
that?
what the writer's room is like. We get nothing done.
Oh,
And
I love it. What is your favorite sketch, whether you're in it or not, that's on season 1? Not season 2, because I feel like that tells too much, but yeah, in season 1.
I have one.
go.
I have one because it makes me laugh every single time. It's Scooter Man. It's the Scooter Man sketch.
oh, when he gets hit by the
The original.
Well, that
So
part
good.
makes me laugh every time too. But I don't know, and I think it's because I know the character that Kelly is portraying, and it's so dead on. Gets me every single time. Like, there's so many other funny sketches.
Yeah, there is one line in that one that gets me every time. He says it under his breath. He's like, "Oh, this is so frustrating."
Yeah,
And every time he says it,
so frustrating.
My favorite is the Karen sketch. So
Oh, it's so good.
it was totally. It was a great mashup, but it was Alisha's idea, and I had a different an idea for just like a self-help group of some kind, and she had an idea for the Karens, and we sort of mixed them together and brought them together like this. And Alisha wrote it, wrote the first draft, and then we contributed. It was her baby, but it was a fun thing, and then it was fun to the coolest part, which we haven't talked about, is you have an idea in your head, and then you write it down, and then it gets better talking about it. And then you film it, and then it gets edited like this. The whole process is so fascinating. And so to see it, the most fun we have probably, as we talked about, just the acting through it and, going back and forth. And you see, Eric's in that one, Alisha and some of her professional actresses from Toronto that she brought down, some actors and actresses, just fantastic. And then you see it edited at the end, and it's just such a fun process. But that's my favorite one.
Matt, what about you?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say that they're all. I like the little I love the little mini sketches like Tattooth or like the bee sting spot. Stuff like that is fun. Like, I love those little offshoots of like silly stuff. It's really cool to watch like the progression of how what the show goes through, and like how season 1 is funny. Oh my gosh, the Christmas special is hilarious. Season 2, just you wait. Like, it's sharper and faster and funnier. But the Christmas special, like all around, I thought was funny. Just because it's like an emotional roller coaster. Like you get like the warm fuzzies, but then it's like it's hilarious and silly and gross. Like Christmas special is hilarious, and the way these 3 people here took like a Christmas special and put like a spin on it, like almost like a campy horror spin on it was awesome. So I love the Christmas special.
What's your favorite sketch that has been on the show?
Boy.
Season 1?
Oh boy, it has to be from season 1.
No, or the Christmas special, but I feel like we don't want any spoilers for season 2, right?
Well, yeah. So
we can't.
I can do this without spoiling. There's one in season 2 that is there's almost no dialogue to it at all. It's just like a little setup, and then just this horrendous display of disgusting physical comedy. And
I'm surprised Bell let us get away with it.
Yeah, they didn't change a thing. They were like, it's perfect, but it's super
I want to
gross.
know
Like, it's
so bad.
It's not. It's not like dirty
he's
gross. It's just like, yeah.
Okay.
Visceral gross, and I love.
I can't
know
wait
it when I see it.
You'll know.
I can't wait for everyone to see it, and then for us to talk about how we shot that. Which,
it was
by
also
the way,
a ton of fun to
mention,
shoot.
We had a meeting yesterday. We do plan on having a screening, like red carpet event, so everyone can come watch season
amazing.
2.
Yeah,
we'll do a
cool.
Q&A.
It'll be in
we are.
April.
I love that.
Yeah.
When this kind of, I know last time, and probably still can't answer it spot on, but when is like the aim for season 2 to come out onto BellFibe?
Yeah. So we deliver March 9th. Yeah. March 9th. And then they can take as long as they want to put it up. So generally what happens is they get it and they look at what's going out right now, what they have on the air right now, when things are already dropping. And then they kind of drop it in a time when it's not going to get clobbered by a bunch of other stuff. So it's kind of up to them. I think last time it was about a month from when we delivered to when they put it on. So I'm guessing April, mid to late April.
I'm so excited to see.
Me too. I'm just like, yes, let's go.
What is the hope for the future of Stoney Lonesome? Like, you filmed season 2, and for people who haven't seen it, it's a sketch comedy show. So Kelly, can you explain what sketch comedy is?
Sure, I'd love to. Thanks, Katie. Sketch comedy, the best example, or the example people probably know the most, is Monty Python. So a bunch of different actors or actresses writing, creating, and then doing different roles. More recently in Canadian is the Baroness Von sketch, which, if you haven't seen it, is incredible. 5 very funny women. 4 or 5? 4, 5. Anyway. So that's what we tried to do, but we did something different, which is unique as far as we know. And that is, sketch comedy is usually completely random. You know, one sketch doesn't tie into the next one completely. You might have a recurrence of characters. But what we did is draw, a story throughout the whole thing. So season 1 has a story arc, characters you get to know, and then you find out, what happens. There's a plot, and then interspersed, probably confusingly for people watching, there's random stuff that happens. So I'm sure people go, how does that tie into anything? But
the whole theme is related to Stoney Lonesome.
Yeah, it all takes place in the same world.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, Kelly, in season 1, I think there was maybe more stuff that maybe was just on the outside of like, that didn't really tie into the whole thing. And so we kind of figured that out as we watched season 1. We're like, okay, so we don't want as much of that in season 2 or in the Christmas special. And then the Christmas special was a standalone. So everything happened to the same characters. The only crossover was Scooter Man and Megan. But for the bulk of it, it's just our leads trapped in a bar. And then season 2, I would say, is even more singular storyline than season 1, like quite a bit more than season 1. So there's less where it just breaks out to random characters that you've never met. And it kind of sticks with our core group.
I'll just throw in a teaser. Victor reminded me when BellFibe called us and said, do you have any ideas for season 2? Victor texted me right and goes, what do I say? What do I say? And I said, just say yes. So we said yes, even though we didn't have any. I don't think they'll be offended. I'm sure a lot of other creators.
I don't remember sounding quite so frantic, but sure.
Yes,
go for it. It's a better story. You're right.
Pulling his hair out. Like,
what do I do, Kelly?
Actually, when he turned gray, it was like that moment right there. And so the next day, Alisha and I got in the studio, and there's a bit of a love story from season 1 where we're sort of, being attracted to each other. And season 2, the idea was put Matt in the bed between them, and he's, he's creating a riff that he doesn't want to lose his best friend to some gal from Toronto or whatever. So that was, I may be misquoting what happened exactly, but that was the kernel of it. Like, let's mess up this relationship that was starting to form with Matt. And so that's basically all we had. And they said, we love it, go for it. Yeah. And then we wrote it after that.
Yeah.
That's a picture, right? Isn't that? I feel like I've seen this on social media where all 3 of you are in a bed.
Yeah, it's a picture.
You need that on like a shirt. I would buy that shirt. Just you 3 in a bed. I think it'd be great.
That's a good idea.
All right.
That would be a great t-shirt.
You know what? Matt should be tarp off for it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
With the hat on.
Matt just pulls his shirt off now. He's like, I'm getting ready.
Do this
anytime. Anytime.
Well, you asked what the future of Stoney Lonesome looked like, and then we answered 4 other questions, which is how Kelly and I's meetings go. So we won't say any names or anything right now, but we are talking with someone about expanding Stoney Lonesome on a more grand scale, like a full length scale. And that's going well so far. So that's all I'll say. We're talking to someone who could really help us grow it and make it
such a teaser,
much bigger. And we'll see how it goes. It could all fall apart tomorrow. I don't know. But
don't even say that.
No, knock on wood.
You don't put that negative energy into the universe.
We don't need that negative energy.
We shouldn't say that Steven Spielberg is one of our favorite producer directors.
Right.
Just leave it at that.
And we don't want you thinking that that's who we're talking to, but it's totally Steven.
I have to tell a scooter story. I should have told this when we were talking about it, but I have to circle back because there are so many scooter people in Belleville. And once my lovely mother was like in a parking lot, and this man in his scooter was stuck in a snowbank. So my mom like heaved him out of the snowbank, him and his scooter, and then he said, "Fuck off," and drove away.
Oh, no.
That's perfect.
See, that's funny because Scooter Man would never do that. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember seeing that scooter guy from the Belleville Waterfront Festival?
I was just gonna say that.
Plowed through that like fire
flaming
person?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently she has a history of burning stuff down, though. Like it's a little bit her too. Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O, both, and Snoop Dogg all posted on their Instagram that video.
No way.
And I see that guy randomly. I'll see that guy and I'm just like,
I salute you, sir. You put Belleville on the map.
Yeah, you saved all of us.
Yeah, we're here busting our butts making a show. He's like, watch this. Belleville can get on the map a lot easier.
Just run shit over.
Yeah. He's like, Snoop Dogg's going to be talking about me tomorrow.
I want to know what you guys consider like your measure of success. I'm stealing this question from my boss because he always asks people this at the end of every interview. So like if you can look back and be like, okay, like I want to reach this and like this is going to be like the pinnacle of success.
I want to go first
for this project. I want to know what that is for you guys.
Maybe the pinnacle of success isn't, I'm not quite going to answer that exactly, but close.
Yeah.
For me, so for season 1, we put together this great crew of people, and they all showed up and worked their asses off, and nobody worked for free, but nobody really got paid what they deserved either, except Matt. Yeah. Matt worked for free. Crew. Yeah. Lots of cast worked for free. But the crew, they worked their butts off, and, even the people that got paid the most, nobody got what they really deserved. So for me, I think what I would call success is year after year, I can put this team together and pay them what they deserve. And ideally, we can have projects big enough to last them for the whole year. Like I would love to put this team together in a way that we don't have to be like, okay, now go figure out the rest of your 9 months of the year. And hopefully you're still around and can afford to come work for us again for, the other 3. I'd love to be able to just say like, okay, go take 3 months off. And now let's come back and we're going to crush it again, like we do every year. For me, like I don't need to make a ton of money. I don't need to be on the, the biggest screens. I'd love to, obviously. But if I can year after year put that team together and just keep doing what we love and do only that and not have to, I got to take this job over here and I got to take this job over here so that I can, make this work. And I'm happy to do that right now. I'm not complaining at all. I have, I'm very fortunate, but that would be the dream, is just to be able to focus on something like this, whatever it is, whether it's this show or in a few years, whether it's another show, to be able to just focus on that.
That was a really good answer. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same as you, Victor, like to piggyback on that.
Steal my answer.
I think my measure of success looks very much the same, to be able to work with this team on multiple projects and to be able to survive off of that, because we put in all of this hard work and we minimal amount of money, but then most of us are still having to have these other jobs and other projects and it gets tiring after a while. You just want to do what you love and be able to make a living off of it. And that for me is success. Anything more than that is just bonus. I do have this vision though. Let's
hear it.
And I guess this would mark success, is me in Belleville for some reason. I always pictured it in Belleville, which I don't think this would be that successful. But someone being like, "Hey, you're Megan from Stoney Lonesome," and be like, "Yeah, I am." It's me.
I did try to set that up for you one time. I don't know if it worked. When you went to pick up the beer at Myers Creek.
Yeah.
Did they do it? Did they do it?
Well, they did say they knew who I was, and it did light me up a little bit inside. But we also used their beer for our show, so of course they knew who. Yeah, I appreciate it though. I mean, if you do want to set that up, it's all good. I'll be okay with that.
Kelly, what about you, buddy?
3 quick answers. One, if any member of the crew could be, say, in downtown Toronto and see somebody walk by with a Stoney Lonesome hat, that would be the ultimate measure of success. It happened last week randomly. Matt was in Toronto and saw someone in a Stoney Lonesome hat. So hope I didn't steal yours, Matt. Number 2, I forget the guy's name, creator of experimental theater, but he said that if anytime like a man or woman walks across the street, that is theater. So you don't even need an audience. As long as that one person is aware of themselves, that's theater. And so for me, that's the, we're making theater. So we've succeeded in my mind. Like I'm so proud of what we've done because we had an idea, took it to its full end. We didn't sell it to somebody and they changed it or hired a producer and did something different. Like we created this and did it ourselves. So I'm so proud of what we've done. And then the third one would be to get the nod for Best Actor at the Oscars and decline. Say, no, I'm busy. I can't make it.
Scooting right across the stage.
That's so badass, Kelly.
That was the best answer. Like all 3 of those answers together was the best answer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Matt, your turn, buddy.
Matt hasn't gone yet.
Good luck.
To see someone with a Stoney Lonesome toque in Toronto. No. I think honestly, like this is I think it's just super awesome to like be working with these guys and be working on this project. So I mean, like anything for me, I'm just I'm not going to approach it as in like, oh, let's see what happens. I'll just go in there. Like when I'm there, it's like from the start to the finish, I go in there with high energy. I love to be as funny as I can. And if it goes for 20 more years, amazing. If it goes for 2 more years, amazing. I just like, I am in it right now working with these peeps,
Good answer.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great answer.
I think you're like watching the show, you guys all look like you're just having the best time and that you all get along. And maybe that's the acting, but it just looks like a really happy set.
You would think so.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Even
right.
Sorry.
blew my joke, Alisha. Shit.
Try again.
No, can I try that again? It's not. Never mind. The moment's passed.
That's why I think one of the reasons why the show works so well is because we all actually find it funny and we all believe in it and we believe in each other. And I mentioned this before, but when we're filming a scene, there's like 10 people behind the camera waiting for the punchline, like trying not to laugh. Like everyone, the person who's scheduling, the person who's helping lift the mic stands, like everyone thinks it's funny. And we're all friends. We all have like chat groups and we send memes and stupid videos to each other and we make fun of each other. And that's why it works, is because we're not just showing up and clocking in. We're there and we're like, okay, what can I say that won't get me around? Yeah.
Can we have a chat group?
Oh,
yeah.
How do we get
How do we get invited to the chat group?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's the queen of Stoney Lonesome. So.
Queen of Stoney Lonesome.
How could we possibly deny her? She'll be like, off with their heads. I just assume you rule with an iron
I was
fist.
going to make a foot joke somewhere, but like, whatever.
Instead of a crown, though, you need like a Tim Hortons hat or something.
Fuck Tim Hortons. It's got to be Starbucks.
Burger King.
Bougie.
Arby's.
But yeah, I think you're right. I do think that the only reason this show works is because everyone's having such a great time. And I feel like so blessed that the crew that came together did, because it could be so miserable. I've been on sets that you just don't know why they're even in this industry. Like, it's like, you're not even making that much money. So why are you here? You look miserable. Like if you're gonna do this and sacrifice, a lot of stuff, you might as well at least love it and, have it have it be the best time ever. And I remember in season 1, I got there on, I think, probably the 5th or 6th day of shooting, and everyone was, we were all tired. I got there super early. I pulled the trailer around the back, and I was going around to unload the trailer, and I was alone. And it was probably 5 a.m. I think call time wasn't until 7. And by 5:45, people started rounding the corner, crew that were just there like almost, an hour early. Just be like, oh, hey, Coop. And, they grab a bunch of gear and start walking. And I was like, I got all choked up. I was like, holy crap, why are these people so happy to be here? Why are they all just like, yeah, no problem. Like, so many people that early in the morning would just be miserable SOBs, but no, they were just all happy, and, didn't have to ask them to do anything. We've got so many great people that, like, before I even think, oh, I need this, I turn around and they've already got it. And yeah, it's not because I'm paying them huge money. It's because they want to see everything run smoothly, and they're super excited, and they're keeners.
You can tell though in the final product, right? Because like when you have like people who are passionate about something and they really love what they do, like you can see that in the end product, and it's definitely there with you guys. And I just love everything you guys are doing. I think it's very inspiring and amazing. Like, and especially just like coming out of Belleville, you know what I mean? Like, and you guys are like doing something like so cool, and you just don't see. I feel like we don't see that enough, where people just like there's lots of ideas, but people don't tend to just do things. And I'm just really stoked that you guys are just doing it.
Oh, I think in a larger area like Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, I think it's more difficult to do things like that because it's so saturated, and there's whatever idea you have, there's 20 other people with the same idea. But when you have a small town like Belleville and you have the resources that we all have, then it's like, okay, if it's a great idea, then it will shine because no one else is really doing it here. Yeah.
That said, like, I think our goal is to, like, I remember, so I'm a musician first. That's pretty rude, Matt.
Sorry.
That's okay.
What?
I was a musician before anything. And I remember when I was a kid, someone would be like, oh, he's a really good singer for a kid. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want to be a good singer for a kid. I want to be a good singer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that, like, that little
qualifier.
Like, thank you. Note. Yeah. Like, so for Stoney, like, I don't want it to be good for something coming out of Belleville. Our goal is like, it's just a good show regardless. And, that'll take time because we are up against,
but it is a good show.
A million other cities. Like, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
I feel very passionate about your project. I'm not even
involved in it
anyway. I'm just like, I just really love like creative people. I think that it's like, yeah, I don't know. My brain
create
just
with us.
Stop functioning. Like,
I stopped. Did you say you stopped functioning?
No, my brain just okay. So I have really bad ADHD, and like sometimes I'll be like mid thought, and then my brain's just like, no, we're done with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that on set. Great. You'd fit right in.
Moving on. Oh yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Last time you guys told us about all the set peanuts.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're still there.
They haven't gone anywhere.
We're actually going to be handing them out at the event. We're going to make little bags.
Little bags.
And we're going to the 1-1 floor peanuts. Yeah. And we're going to hand them out as like little I think that's what we're going to do. Little snacks.
Frame them.
Yeah.
I'll like shadow box.
Oh, make the little peanut families. You know how they do like with the rocks and the twigs, little peanut families. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, can I spoil one of the jokes that you were telling me about the other day?
Yeah. I was actually going to mention that earlier. I would love for you to. Yeah.
Matt had this idea that like maybe a bunch of people from Quebec moved to Stoney Lonesome, and it's like we're getting a real influx of Quebecois. And Daryl decides to rename the bar the
Daryl hates it.
Tavern.
Yeah. That's where the ideas came from. Yeah, I was at Toyota a couple days ago getting my tires changed. Wait till February to get my winter tires on. But the guy was loading the tires in the back of my truck, and he's like, "Oh, I see you got some ink." And I was like, showing a few tattoos, and he literally proceeded to show me 20 of his tattoos, from the smallest one to the biggest one. And I'm like, that would be such a funny like sketch where it's like it starts off as like a butterfly or a ladybug, and then it goes to like a rat on his skull or something, like. And I'm just like, okay, dude, I gotta go. Right. Anyways,
the amount of times that has happened to me, just like walking. I remember once at the Red Lion, there was a man and he was like, "I really like your chest tattoo." I was like, "Great, thanks." And he like opens my shirt, like grabs my shirt, goes
the
like
Red
this,
Lion.
and then I punched him.
Did you?
Nice.
Yeah, I hope he did.
Did you punch him good?
Well, like right in the chest. I was like,
Okay,
not
That's
do that.
pretty good.
But yeah, like the amount of
Basically,
people who just think that, pretty much, yeah.
I totally punched him.
But yeah, the amount of people that are just like, "Oh, hey, you have a tattoo. Let me tell you all about mine." And I'm like, I don't care.
What a weird thing. But this is where ideas for sketches come from. It's just small experiences. And then they're either funny in itself, or you find a way to kind of elaborate on the encounter.
We're for sure going to write a sketch where the queen of Stoney Lonesome titty punches some guy.
I would love to titty punch Matt.
Titty punch.
Titty punch Matt.
Ow.
Do any of you or all of you have things upcoming that you want to shout out before we kind of wrap it up?
Ooh. Well, Alisha, I don't know. Do you want to talk about your thing?
Okay. I will.
Yes.
I haven't talked about it publicly yet, but I'm currently writing a show.
Got back from my doctor.
I knew it.
Okay, it's not contagious.
That we know of.
So the show is called Hair Lip, which is a slang term for a cleft lip that most of us don't like. I was born with the cleft lip. So it's a comedy series about what it's like basically growing up with that. I applied for a development grant through Ontario Creates. I will hear back in the next 3 to 5 weeks-ish. Yeah. And it's going to be the same team as Stoney Lonesome as far as like the production team. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Victor's going to be directing it. Kelly plays my therapist. I don't have a role for Matt yet, but Matt will always have a place in anything I do.
It's okay.
He'll be there in spirit.
It can be the craft.
You might be like the grocery store clerk or something, but
we'll
you'll
pay
have
him
some
in spirit too.
If there's any bush, is there bushes? That could be a bush.
Yeah.
It could be a bush
with a CH.
Yeah. Bush Hightower stars in Hair Lip. This summer, don't show your lip to Bush. I don't know. I've got nothing.
Oh, that's a really cool project.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it works out. Fingers crossed. It's all about getting the funding. That's the hardest part. And then a platform. Yep. So I did talk to CBC Gem. They're basically just waiting for me to find out if I have the development grant. We would be shooting the pilot in March if we do. So things are going to move very quickly because all the other deadlines for other applications for funding for this project are pretty quick. So we'll be hitting I want that cookie so bad. I'm going to get groceries after this and I'm buying a box of maple cookies.
I've had so many. I brought out too many to begin with. And then like this podcast just won't end. And so I keep looking at it. I'm like, damn, I can't just let that sit there.
I'm going to quickly go next just because I have to go grab the kids at 3:20.
That's a
1 minute.
19.
Victor, is it okay if I quickly mention the doc? Is that cool?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So we did a documentary with Victor about it's called Full, and it's all about having a full heart, full life, and a full belly, I guess.
Full bush.
All those things.
Full bush.
Full bush.
Yeah. And it's just I unprompted, I love to just like do all the things and have a lot of fun and try all the new things. And Victor and a few other talented people recognized that, and we worked together and made a documentary about living life to the fullest and just loving your friends and family. So
Matt's being coy. It's about Matt. Like, I don't know if that came across. The doc is about
me.
Yeah, it's Matt. Yeah, it's a documentary about Matt.
It's 6.5 hours.
Yeah, it's 6.5 hours long.
The director's cut strangely is shorter.
Yeah.
It's only 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Kelly, that's strangely accurate because the doc is actually
it's literally that long.
Like exactly 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
The first 6 minutes are just the waist down. It's a weird, weird vibe. No, it's not. But it will be at DocFest.
Oh,
so, are you guys going to DocFest?
I am. Mark and Charity just did a podcast about it today. March.
Today? Yeah, in March.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I think it's like early March. I think it's the 6th or something. I literally just did this like
Matt,
2 hours ago.
I'm sorry, guys. I got to go, but thank you very much.
Matt,
I love
you, buddy.
Okay, we'll chat soon. Bye, friends.
Kisses.
Victor, I feel like you're involved in everyone else's stuff. Do you have anything else coming up? I'm sure you do.
No, I'm mostly just involved in other people's stuff. Well, like it's all my stuff too. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I guess I'm just the middleman that's kind of in all these things. So like the thing coming up with Alisha, hopefully that all goes through. That'll be fantastic. Just another great excuse to get the crew back together again. And Matt's thing is done now, that doc. So that's out of the way. I'm just trying to get Stoney Lonesome season 2 out the door. I actually have to get Alisha and Kelly in here to do some ADR. And
good to know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that.
So like
Happy
sometimes,
to come back.
Yeah, sometimes when you're recording, it's too loud to get good audio. So for example, one time we had to run a leaf blower in the scene. And so you're not going to get a good audio. So you just know that. And so then you record it all in post.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
And Kelly, do you have anything coming up?
Well, the big thing is Stoney Lonesome with Victor. So the Stoney Lonesome 2 is all Victor, his job, or his part in editing and stuff. But to take Stoney Lonesome 1, 2 and the Christmas special, package it and present it. So Victor alluded to someone we're talking to, but that's sort of 2023 to get a full length show for Stoney Lonesome is sort of my interest. And then because you mentioned the Red Lion, Victor and I have a bar rescue show that we're pitching. And the first pilot is about the conversion of the Red Lion into the local.
It's been 3 years in the making.
Yeah, we didn't know it would take him 3 years to do it, and it's still not open. But
it's going to be the most expensive show on the planet. 3 years per episode.
But it's got
my gosh.
And one more maple for Victor. And then we're hoping the pitch of Stoney Lonesome, we have something in our back pocket. So I think we proved to ourselves anyway, hopefully them, that we can do something of high quality. And then if they say, okay, it looks good, but we don't want that, we're going to pull something out of our back pocket that we haven't talked about. That's a feature length film to pitch to them as well. So this year's about getting, a feature length or full length Stoney Lonesome.
Well, you're all really badass and busy. And thank you so much for doing this twice with us. We really appreciate it. It's going to come out next week, I swear. But thank you. And you guys can all end the call, but I'm staying on because I'm not losing audio this time. So
deal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for
Thank you guys.
I think it was actually maybe even, I was going to say it might have even been better the second time around. And kudos to you both for pretending like this was the first time you'd heard everything. You were really great. You have careers in acting.
Wow.
I was convinced. There were a couple of times where I was like, did we not talk about that? Because they looked so surprised and shocked. It was very convincing. Good job.
I'm confused.
Well, you guys made it easy because it didn't sound like the same the second time around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I can't hide that on my face. I'm literally incapable of hiding like being bored on my face. So you're
good to know.
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah. When I have this, idea, I'm bringing it to you, Kay, and then I'm just going to look at your face the whole time, just to watch whether it's boring or not. Yeah. Is it excitement? Is it boredom?
Well, she's asleep. Her feet are up on the table and she's drooling. Oh.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Quinte.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll
Ciao,
tag
friends.
you all.
We will leave so you can stay.
That was amazing.
Amazing. It was. We got to talk to them twice, and I think second time they were both great recording.
That's like the worst part is like both of our talks were like really good in their own respects. This one I feel like we were all just a little bit more comfortable with each other, which I thought was pretty fun.
Can I tell everyone what you did? The burp. So we started the recording and I let everyone, I think it was like you, me, and Victor.
Yeah.
And maybe Alisha. I'm not sure, but I let everyone in the room. I don't think Kelly was there either, but I let everyone in the room, and Kay had not eaten, and it was like 2 PM. She went and got food and a Diet Coke right before we were going to record. And then she thought she was muted, and she let out like the best podcast burp. I don't have it recorded, and that's the sad part, but
it was
she let
so
out the
gnarly,
best podcast burp.
And yeah,
I love it.
I was like mortified. I wanted to die on the spot. I was like, nope, this ain't it, but this is it.
I think they enjoyed it, and they're going to write it into an episode. So,
well, I mean, I really do want to be the queen of Stoney Lonesome.
I think you are. You already claimed that.
Well, I mean, I already am, but I want it to be like an official thing.
Yeah.
Because, there's always like that bougie, like mean mom. And I can be a mean mom.
You're not a mean mom, though. You're like the best mom. So funny. I have mad COVID brain right now, so I don't know what else we need to talk about except how great that was. Season 2, they're not sure when it's coming out. Like, it'll come out like end of March, April was the vibe. Matt has
his documentary.
His documentary, which Victor produced and filmed, I believe.
Yes.
Is going to be at DocFest. So you can catch that and follow them all on Instagram. You can check that out in our show note. Thank you to our podcast sponsor, Hillside House Studios. Miri, shout out.
I am going to see her in 4 days.
I feel like we should film
Wait,
that.
No, that's a lie. 6 days.
Math hard.
This is if me not being able to math kind of tells you anything about where my brain is at today.
It's like life set us up for a weird point right now because we're like work besties. We like are normally in the office together, and if one of us is down, then the other one can pick it up. But the problem is you have the big SADs and I have the COVID. So
it's just like it's situational. My big SADs right now, like it's completely situational. So it's like I know it's gonna be fine. It's like everything's great, but like I mean, I do have a lot to be happy and excited about. Situational SAD.
It's super fair. You're sad right now.
Yeah.
Too. So
but it's fine.
Sometimes you have to feel those emotions,
Yeah, I know. And I think I let it all out this morning. And now I feel like I'm doing good. Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
you look great, especially in that hat.
I love my little Babes of Quinte too, because that flips down. I think I might also get the Rust one. I've been buying all our merch.
I love it. And that brings us to everyone, please buy our merch.
BabesofQuinte.ca.
Or just message us if you want to buy it, and I don't know, not do it online. I don't care.
Yeah, if you don't have a credit card or you don't have PayPal or any of that stuff, like we'll take an e-transfer.
We love it.
Yeah, it's fine. We can do it. We can take cash.
We have tubes. We have hoodies. We have Crewnecks, and they're so cozy.
Stickers and magnets and keychains.
And if you get tickets to the bingo event, you get a magnet keychain and stickers. So like winning. That's really all I got. I'm really sleepy, and
you should go take a nap.
Probably. It's been real, babes. Bye.
The Babes of Quinte podcast is recorded and produced at Starboard Communications, home of 95.5 Hits FM, Cool 100, and InQuinte.ca.